Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Forager video. My name is Shevelev, Senior Analyst on the Australian Shares Fund, and joining me today is my colleague Gaston Amoros, also Senior Analyst on the Australian Shares Fund. Hi Gaston.
Hi Chev.
So we've been through a very volatile January. It's been one-way traffic across many global indices, 10% falls for some, and we're talking today about the potential upcoming reporting season volatility as well that we're going to see from a lot of different factors. It's particularly complicated reporting season this year. Gaston, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I think one of the themes that we're seeing is there's a lot of pandemic-related earnings pain out there. So in particular for consumer-exposed names, for retailers, the ones that have a physical presence, they are suffering from the lockdowns in the earlier part of the year. So in July, September, and October, like cases in point, Nick Scali, I think only have half of the shops open, or the trading capacity open in the Q1 of the fiscal year, so in those months that we mentioned. Another one was Integral Diagnostics. They already told us that in New Zealand, which is 15% of the business, the revenue went backwards nearly 20% on the basis of all the restrictions and around COVID. And for the e-commerce players, the online retailers, what we're seeing is actually we're seeing towards the end of the half, we're seeing a slowdown in e-commerce as people went out of the house and did this episode of revenge spending, right? Mm-hmm. So after being locked down for many months, you went out to the shops and you forgot about buying things online, and that's clearly coming out in the numbers of the likes of Redbubble, Kogan, Adore Beauty, and a bunch of others. On top of that, we have customer acquisition costs for the online names that are going through the roof because everyone's trying to acquire customers online, and that's clearly having an impact on profits.
So that's on the revenue side, but we're actually seeing from quite a few companies cost increases as well. Now, broader inflation has picked up. We've seen that in the general numbers. But even specific inflation around labour, around freight costs, we saw Ansell put a very poor result out to investors more recently on the basis of higher freight costs and higher labour costs, as well as their product prices coming down.
Correct, and to give people a sense of how unexpected it is, they just downgraded guidance by 25 or 23%, 3 months after they gave the number, right? So yeah. That's Ansell.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that's probably going to be less affected by this.
Ironically, the tech names, particularly the ones that do software, they're actually doing quite well. I mean, the problem there has been an issue of valuations, how much we pay for these businesses. But the ones that have already reported, they're reporting business as usual, right? You're selling software online, so there's no problem with that. Case in point, Bigtincan, they added 13 million of ARR. That's a pace of 28% annualized growth. That's in Q2. So that's quite healthy, and the business is trading at a fraction of what it was trading before.
Yeah, I mean, Nitro is a good example of that as well. They've increased recurring revenue by 40-odd%. A lot more of that business is now recurring, and actually this all makes a little bit of sense because you've got software businesses that have transitioned to workers from home that are doing the job, salespeople that can sell from home. There's not physical product to be brought into stores and disrupted in that fashion. So operationally they're doing well, but I think as you mentioned before, the question through this reporting season is, are we now at a level of valuation that makes those businesses attractive? And I think by and large, we're coming more and more to some of the higher quality small cap growth names that is starting to be the case.
Yeah, so ironically, the dilemma this earnings season is you have either real economy business, like decent valuation, like poor operating performance, or you have tech business, questionable valuation, great operating performance, right? It's a bit of a dilemma.
Yeah. All right, and on that, thank you very much for listening in. We'll see you next week.